This is a quick real estate update from Jere Metcalf Partners, real estate agents on the ground in Atlanta. We're talking about what it's like, what to expect, the pros, the cons, and what to consider to align yourself and your loved ones for the best opportunities. All right, here we are. They're going to eavesdrop on us. We're recording. Everybody knows who we are. Jere Metcalf, Chad Carrodus, Adam Vicars. We're talking about the market. Everybody say hi.
Hi. Thank you for having us, Jere.
Good to have y'all here today. Or should I say thanks for including me? All right. Everybody's talking about the market. It's hot. Chad, you want to run us through the stats that we were reviewing before we started recording?
Sure. So some pretty interesting stats that the Atlanta Business Chronicle came out with today. And they actually had a quote in there that I really liked, and that it's spring-like activity. Because the market right now is so unprecedented. And just some stats to speak to that. So there's been a 12.9% increase in sales compared to last year. The average sales price has gone up 15.3% from last September to from September to the September before that. And so now it's at 376,500, but a 15% increase in 1 year is insane. A lot of that has to do with the decrease in inventory, and the inventory has decreased 36.6%. Because
let's say that again. That's a big one.
That's a really big one.
Inventory is down 36.6%. Everybody, we understand it's the middle of October and we're giving you September stats, but that's because by the time they all register and record, it's October. 36.6% reduction in inventory.
And I think too, I mean, and frankly, it makes sense, Jere, because I know Adam can speak to this. I know you could speak to this. I mean, I could speak to this. We've had so many people leaving Boston, leaving California, leaving New York. I mean, and moving here because it's
a great place to be.
It's a great place to be, not to get political. So, I mean, and it makes sense. And I think what it's also doing is developers have such an optimistic outlook on the market, because I know a lot of people are worried about, oh, is the real estate bubble? You know, it's too good to be true, yada, yada, yada. And I think, I mean, you guys made it early, but
we're going to do 3 questions today.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm running the show.
Y'all want to start it over, or do we want to keep
No, this is great.
Question number, because usually we should talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about now. 3 questions. I'm going to say the questions, and we're going to go through them one by one. Number 1, is it a bubble? Is there going to be a bubble?
No. Well,
I'm going to say the questions first.
She didn't call me, Chad.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to say the questions first. Is it a bubble? Is there going to be a bubble? That's number 1. We're going to answer it next. We're going to elaborate. Number 2, what about inventory? What's going to happen? What's the deal with that? Down 36%. And number 3, the question, should we wait? To wait or not to wait? Or as Chad says, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Question number 1, the bubble. Is this a bubble? Is there going to be a bubble?
No.
That was a very interesting testing format that you had there.
What would I do? What I do?
Never mind.
Next. I don't want to know. Bubble or not?
No. Well, it depends on what market. Yeah, frankly, some markets there's going to be a bubble. In places in California and New York,
we're talking about Atlanta. It's JMP Atlanta.
I know, but and that's where people get so scared about the news, and they watch news and everyone says real estate bubble. Well, what does that mean? It, has so much to do with location. About there's so many factors. But speaking in the context of Atlanta, absolutely not. No bubble. Actually, right now,
City has been experiencing a recession since 2015. And COVID's just kind of like wrapping that up for them, and they're still in the recession. In Atlanta, we just explained, sales prices are up year over year, almost 13%, yet inventory is down 36%. So if there's going to be a bubble, it's going to be a while because we got a lot of demand and low supply to account for before that hits.
And maybe, and maybe it'll just, the market will shift in the sense, and instead of having $20 million, houses in New York and condos and all that stuff, maybe you get a $20 million house on West Paces and, the next decade or so.
Well,
So
there's $17.5 million house on there. So, but there's not many of those.
But having that become kind of more the norm and really seeing our average sale price just being up 15.3% this year is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that average sales price is in the 300s, but what's bringing that up is the multi-million dollar market is gone from a few years of inventory to 6 months of inventory.
Absolutely.
Or 6 months absorption rate. Adam.
Yep.
What do you think about this bubble, no bubble? We're going to have a bubble. You already answered, but anything you want to add to that?
I mean, Chad was speaking over me there, but
that's not unusual.
Me? Come on.
But I mean, I agree with everything he's saying. I mean, we're not seeing as many people leave Atlanta, and we're seeing more and more people come into Atlanta and move from outside cities. So it's only increasing the demand. There's hardly anything out there, and everything that is out there just goes really fast. So just people have to be ready to go, and we just have to be aggressive. I mean, we find it, everything we hear, tons of homes coming on the market before they even hit the market. So, and they sell.
Well, cities people are coming from cities with much higher average sales price than what we've got in Atlanta, and they're coming from markets that are used to multiple offer situations, unlike what we are used to here. And then the affordability factor. So unemployment is going down. At the same time, interest rates are down. So it makes what we can afford. I think what we can afford is, I forget the percentages. We talked about this on a recent show, but people can afford a lot more house than they could.
The additional, like on average, like $60,000 more, something like that.
10% or
10% more house.
Oh wow, okay, more than that then.
Well, on average, that's 30,000.
Oh.
You look at an average sales price, 35,000. Average sales price is actually 370,000 right now. Median sales price is 311. So in the end, if there is a bubble, it's not coming anytime soon because affordability. Now we could have a trajectory for it depending on inventory, but builders can't build houses fast enough now to hit a bubble. And
I mean, even honestly, I don't think I'm looking through rose-colored glasses here, but like I said, I think other markets are going to experience devastating bubbles. But our market, I mean, we're on the ground floor of something that's taking off. I mean, just right down the road, 3 miles south of me, Microsoft is building a big campus. And think about, all the money and the technology. Think about all of the jobs and demand for more homes. And people moving from Silicon Valley, which, an extremely expensive market. And I'm sure they'll, so they're selling their extremely expensive house. And if they want, multiple offer situation, it's not going to be uncommon to see offers, that raise the average sale price because they are so aggressive. And they think it's a steal. And it's great for everyone. So what about this inventory? What inventory's low. What's going to happen? What does the future hold? More development. I mean, oh, sorry. Should I let Adam talk? Well, I was like, I don't know, Chad, you were on a roll. I was just going to listen. I really am. I was like, I got 2 ears.
Must be the tie.
What?
It must be your tie, and you're on a roll.
It really, no, I feel like I'm like on CNBC right now being interviewed. All those people, and they're like, oh, look at my graph. No, this is what's happening on the ground.
I mean, we're seeing what spring-like conditions is what we're really seeing in the market right now, where we're not used to that in the fall leading into the winter. We don't typically see this much activity. And it's just continuing. There's just no sign of it slowing down. And so
developers are coming into the city. The west side is going to develop out.
Yep.
Now, there's only so much land. Like you look at places like Buckhead, there's going to be more density, but in the big picture, like it means prices are going to go up. So that leads us to the question, wait, do you wait or you did not wait? The trajectory of the market is prices are going to go up. They're up now, but not nearly as much as there's clearly the trajectories to go up. Interest rates are down. And we all know whatever the election holds, interest rates are going up.
Interest rates are still a historic low. I think, they talked today about in the sales meeting, they're still getting some at 2.5%. When you have that, why wait? It's not going to get any cheaper next year if you're.
If you, sorry to, I know I'm getting a little passionate and excited about this, but I think that also has to do with the increase of sale price too, because the cost of money is so cheap. So take out as much as you can, get the most expensive house that, sorry about that, that you can afford, because money's cheap. And if it's appreciating, that's how, it's economics 101.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Demand is higher, much higher than supply. And prices are increasing, but still rather steady. Interest rates are still low. And whatever the future holds, houses are going to get more expensive and interest rates are going to go up. So wait or don't wait.
Don't wait.
The answer to that depends on everybody's personal situation. But in the big picture, all things being equal, don't wait, which is why we're experiencing a spring-like market. I think we answered the questions.
I can keep going.
I know you can, but we're going to close this out.
I think we're good, Chad.
Everybody, personal messages, we're all tagged below. Message us on this Facebook to our partners pages. And happy Halloween coming up. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. And happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to our ambassadors and clients for your support of Jere Metcalf Partners, where our mission is to deliver the best service and the best results for our clients' needs, their wants, and their families.